I'm a psychic medium, and I have two guests today, David Brown and Lynette Avis. Hi guys.
Hello.
Lovely to see you both, because we
Thank
go
you.
back a little way, you know. Psychic fairs we met at, and
We have.
and you've organised a few mind, body and spirit fairs.
In the past I have, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but we're here today talking about your book, Nourish the Flame Within, which I'm very impressed with.
Thank
which
you.
I have read, of course. Tell us a general feel about the book, what it's about. One of you.
Okay. Well, to begin with, the book is ostensibly about energy. And normally when people think of energy, they think of science. And when they think of science, they don't ever think of anything to do with meditation or martial arts or Reiki at all. And one of the purposes of the book is to bring those subjects together so that people get an understanding that actually they're talking about exactly the same subject, but they're coming at it from a different direction.
Right.
So the book talks about the scientific understanding of energy, by which it comes from the beginning of the universe, and the energy is, as it were, the building block of everything, including us, and that we have an ability to connect to that energy and to harness that energy and use it for our overall health, well-being, and to help us move more smoothly through life, move with the river of life rather than necessarily against it.
When you mention science, that turns me off straight away.
Yes.
But I must admit, the way you've written it in this book, it's not in a highfalutin way, it's quite general, which suits me fine.
Absolutely. Because we really did want people to understand it and really get the energy connection. And the book is a book for everybody, and we really wanted people who are on maybe the beginning of a spiritual a spiritual journey, to understand that energy connection on that journey, because I think if you can understand that quite early on, it's going to help make learning meditation a lot easier, and then you can take that into many different directions. As in the book we've said, you can take it into healing, once you understand that connection, because in healing obviously you're making a connection, aren't you, to the universe and using the universal energy. So the earlier you can really get to grips with what it is you're connecting to, I think the better. So that's what we wanted to do.
Is your publishing company aiming it at the novice, the beginner, who wishes to know about the spiritual life more?
No, I think they're aiming it sort of across the board. But what we're finding is we've got quite a young audience. In fact, we've got sort of like 13 to 25-year-olds. We've got that sort of audience with the book, as well as everybody else. But that seems to be quite a large part of our audience, which we think is actually brilliant, because as we were discussing, if we can get people very early on, very young, into this and understanding the validity of meditation and energy and what it actually means for their lives and what they can use it for in a very positive way, that's absolutely got to be a good thing for them.
Now, you come from different backgrounds. Can each of you tell me your contribution to the book?
Yeah, well, my background is 15, 20 years in science. Studying biology and physics and chemistry, and I've always discovered that it has everything to do with energy and the flow of energy through biological systems, but also through the actual universe itself. And for about the same period of time, or starting around the same period in my life, I've been doing martial arts. And to begin with, martial arts seems always to be about violence and aggression and being able to defend oneself and hurt somebody. But very, very quickly I began to learn that actually martial arts is about connecting to people, connecting to oneself. And actually the great masters of martial arts in the past have always been men of peace, men who did meditation, men who did lots of art and calligraphy and things like that. And they tried to teach a message of peace to people. And it was up until that point, I'd never really made much of a connection between science and martial arts. But then it begins to kind of merge. yeah, where you begin to see that actually that connection is a connection to do with energy, and that you begin to see that the more you connect into that energy, the more vital you feel, the more alive you feel, the more self-aware you become, the more powerful you feel. And that helps with your overall health, and it helps with your overall well-being, and it just makes you feel more engaged with life. And that's really where my understanding and the merging of those two seemingly very disparate disciplines began to come together.
Because at the beginning I thought, will people understand the connection? Because I couldn't get my head around it at first. But then again I should, because I studied karate. And it's amazing how many people I've had here sitting on that settee did martial arts and are now mediums and healers. And someone said to me on Facebook once, Paul, isn't it amazing? What's the connection?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the energy connection. That's absolutely Because actually, in martial arts, you're always talking about energy, projecting energy, connecting into the energy, aren't you, with all your movements? And so for that, that's very much it. But my portion of the book really is the spiritual connection. It's the energy connection, using it in a healing capacity and in a life capacity. Also David too talked very much in the book about how we can use it in a life capacity, but mine very much was about thinking about spirit and how people on that journey can use those meditations to definitely strengthen their connection to spirit, to the universe, to God, God itself. And on a health level, very much thinking about that and talking about that in the book, how we can use meditation to enhance our health. I felt that generally the public, if you talk about meditation, it's a bit like, I don't want to go there, because it's seen as this very new age thing, and it's got negative connotations perhaps with some people, whereas if you go to the NHS website, they talk about learn meditation, it's going to help your health, it has proven health benefits. They know that it lowers blood pressure, they know that it helps relaxation and stress, helps with mental agility, all of these things which are very, very positive life and health benefits. And when you consider there are so many people these days in life who are stressed, because modern life is very stressful, and David and I were just talking earlier about how many people are on medication through stress. And certainly if you can learn to do something so easy as learn to meditate and just bring that into your life a little bit, that's going to have a very real health impact on your health. So for me, it very much was about that, the connection to spirit and the enhancement of health.
Yeah. Are we aiming at God at the end of the day? I mean, all these New Age books, sort of energy, spirit, do you think we're leading... Is the aim of the book, I know it's to get to know ourselves, is it to get to know God as well? Or is that an idea for a follow-up, another book?
Well...
Or am I taking it too far?
I don't know, what do you feel?
I think that a lot of it depends on what your definition of God is, and for me, certainly that has changed since I've written the book, or while I've written the book.
Because you're interrupting your book does... It hits me, that word crops up, energy the whole time.
Yeah.
Are we talking about God's energy?
I think we're talking about all energy, and I think that's the message of the book. I think the very beginning of the book, David talks about Einstein, and and the fact that he tells us, or he told us, that everything is energy. So if everything energy is God's energy too, we're all energy. So really it's energy interacting. It doesn't matter what you're thinking about or what you're talking about, whether we're talking about us all here today, having a discussion, that's energy, using energy, or whether we're talking about connecting to God, we're connecting to an energy through using energy, you know. So it's our own energy connecting to energy, and the vehicle is energy, but all different energies.
Yeah, because God is in everything, and everything is in God.
Absolutely.
And God, well,
and energy is in everything.
Yeah.
So an energy is everything.
Yeah.
So the only thing that kind of differentiates energy in different ways is through the vibration of that energy.
Yeah.
So the lower the vibration, the more, as it were, negative those feelings are going to be, and the higher the vibration, the more positive and more towards love, and I think towards God, that energy is going to be. And it's just a question of, as we get into meditation more and we become more centered, we start to move up this scale towards this godlike energy.
Which makes me think, you have got a dozen or so meditation exercises in here.
Yeah.
What's the journey of these meditations? Do they start like the first meditation, how to begin to meditate, and lead on somewhere?
Well, I think I have quite a lot of people come to me and ask me to teach them to meditate, and one of the things that I found was that many people said, I've tried and I couldn't do it. And I really couldn't get my head around it at first, because it's such an easy thing to learn. You know, it's such an easy thing to do. I'm sure you know, Paul, because I'm sure you meditate. And so I thought, well, why can't I do that? And I think it's because people miss some vital ingredients in meditation. I think for the average person, when they think about meditation, they're thinking that they have to empty their mind, which couldn't be further from the truth, because you can't empty your mind. It's not possible. But what you have to do is quieten your mind, which is a different thing than emptying your mind. So I think with a lot of people, they come to meditation thinking, I've got to have no thoughts, and sit there thinking, I've got to have no thoughts. Well, you've got thoughts, and so you're getting nowhere. And in the book, I teach how to, the beginnings of what meditation is. I explain what meditation is, but there's a road to it, and it's a very simple, quick road. It's nothing highfalutin at all, and it's a journey through the breath, and learning that it's the breath and your breathing that's actually going to take you into meditation. And the reason the breathing is going to take you into meditation is because your breathing actually has an impact on your brainwave pattern. And if you're saying that being in meditation is you need to get your brain into alpha state, okay, and that your breathing is going to affect your brainwave patterns, that's it, isn't it? Once you learn that breathing, it's going to take you down into meditation, whatever you do. And I think that's the key in the book, to teach that first, I thought. Right. So that's why I give those very first exercises. Once people understand that's the key, and that's what meditation is, going down into that state, and it's a very natural state that we all do anyway, every single day of our lives, because it's the state between being awake and asleep, and we are going every night through those brainwave patterns, you know, from being awake in beta through alpha, then going down theta, delta to sleep. And so what we're saying in meditation is we want to go from that alert awake state into that dreamy drifting off state, and not go down into sleep state, but stay in that dreamy, lovely, cosy place. And that's the trick, to stay there. And so then that takes a bit of practice, because we're used to going from awake through that state, asleep. So that's what we talk about in the book. And then once the person's achieved that, the next thing to understand with meditation is meditations can take you in different places. You can use meditations for very many things. You can use your meditation on a spiritual journey to enhance your spiritual practice and to go on that journey. And you can use your meditation to enhance your health, to impact your health. You can use that meditation to increase your connection to everyone around you, by making your relationships better. And you can use your meditation to actually enhance yourself by understanding yourself more and getting more self-insights. So there are very many purposes to meditation. It isn't just about, well, I'm going to sit here and empty my mind. That's, couldn't be further from the truth. It's purposeful, and the person has to really ask themselves, what is my purpose, within meditation?
Do you touch on meditation about connecting to spirit guides? Communication
very briefly, because I didn't want to go too deeply into that side of it. I wanted to touch on it and give anyone that wanted to go on that journey some tools to be able to do it. And in the book I do say, if you want to go on that journey, then find someone to help you go on that journey. Yeah. And then you can use those meditations with that person to go on that journey. Because I really do feel that if you're going to start connecting to your guides and go on that journey, you need to have someone to take you on that journey in a positive way. Because for some people, once they start on that journey, they can become unnerved. It's not a negative journey in any way, but Paul, and I know that feeling those energies for the first time coming close can be very unnerving for some people, and they need to have the support of another person to take them, so it's just the right amount, and they can take them so far and step back. Whereas if you're just doing it by yourself, you don't know, do you? So that's what I feel with that.
Okay, excellent. So we're talking about a journey. You've written quite a few personal things in here about yourself.
I have, yes.
How did you find writing this book? Was that a bit of a revelation for yourself? Did you discover more about yourself or anything writing this book?
When I wrote all the personal stuff, I wanted to help. I wanted a way to connect to people who were going through difficult times. And instead of just saying, if you do this, this and this, I wanted it to be real.
Yeah.
So if I used my life and my experiences, that would make it real
so
for everybody reading. Exactly. To a person.
The author, the person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. You've had some positive reviews about this book. What have they said about it? It's a bit of an ego trip, isn't it?
It is. Well, they've said lots of things. They said that it was a very insightful book, and that the book would light, what was it? Blue Ink said it would like a fire, wouldn't it? I can't remember, but a wildfire of the soul, they said, and that it was more than just a meditation guide.
Well, it is, because it can open up, it can change people's lives.
It can, that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted that.
And how long did it take to write?
Well,
I think we talked about it for a few months before we actually started writing.
Yeah.
Tossing ideas back and forth.
Yeah.
And then I think it was just an idea to begin with, wasn't it? And then we started talking and we started writing a few sort of emails to each other. Yeah. And then we kind of had a look and we kind of went, okay, we might actually have something worth publishing here. And that was an exciting progress.
And it took us actually a good 2 years to write. Yeah. And it was emails backwards and forwards, wasn't it? And sending stuff to each other. Yeah, and sort of trying to really gel our ideas. But a good 2 years it took us to write.
And are you going on tour promoting it around the country at all? Or?
We've been talking about that, and we do think that we're going to try and do some mind, body, spirit things.
I was going to ask you, because you're a very good organiser at these psychic fairs. Have you got any of those planned?
No, we haven't got any, but we want to do other people's, and to promote the book.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And we're hopefully going to do more radio, and we're doing radio in America. So and we want to do more of that, to promote the book.
So what's the future hold for you both? I mean, I know you're a psychic medium as well.
Yes.
Do you intend working more platform, or going out and back working, or concentrate on writing?
I think concentrate on writing. That's what I want to do. I feel for myself there's a lot of really excellent platform mediums out there, and you know, when I started writing the book, I sort of thought to myself, well, what can I bring to that when there's so many good mediums out there on platform? And I thought, well, what I can bring to this work is the written word. I'm good at writing, I'm good at art, I'm good at putting things together. So I thought, well, maybe that's a vehicle for me, something, you know, to bring something new and fresh that the ordinary person, it's not a good word, but the person that's not already on a spiritual journey can use to you know, to get to grips with what spirituality is in a very real way, and to use these things in a very, even if they don't want to go on a spiritual journey, but just to use what's in the book in a very positive way for their life.
Excellent. Well, thanks for being my guest. And it's available in all good bookshops. Well, it certainly should be.
It is. It's available everywhere, which we're really pleased about, aren't we? It's in Waterstones physically in their bookshop, and it's online at Amazon.co.uk and .com.
And it's published by Author House.
It's published by Author House.
You can get it on their website.
On their website as well. Yes.
So if you want to know more, it's www.authorhouse.co.uk.
That's it. Yeah.
Or if you're at a loss, you want to get in touch with Lynette and David, contact me at Felixstowe TV. What about future ambitions separately, either of you, before we disappear?
Well, I think it would be great if we can start using the meditations as a way of trying to guide people onto this spiritual path.
Yes.
So that's one of the ideas that we want to talk about. And certainly for me as well, with respect to still doing the martial arts, it's just expanding that concept and being able to use martial arts as a medium to connect to energy.
The Chinese use qi energy, don't they? Is that sort of martial arts you do, karate or? Yeah,
so it's karate based and aikido based.
Yeah.
And again, although the Japanese word for it is ki, but the idea is exactly the same. And it's just understanding that with the physical body in motion, there is a kind of a momentum to that flow of energy.
Yeah.
So you can use that and you can absorb it and deflect it and do all kinds of fascinating and exciting things with it. But it all requires this connection to this other person's energy.
And not only does your energy help yourself, it helps others, doesn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Excellent.
And what I would like to say is, as David said, we would like to, we were talking earlier, that really what we would like to do is see meditation more in schools. So that's something that we would really love to get into, to be able to bring meditation to young people. And we are writing a second book. We're starting on that, aren't we?
Well, when you do, and it's all published, come back and be my guest again and talk about it.
Yes, great.
In the meantime, Lynette and David, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hope you enjoyed it. Well, of course you enjoyed this. And I highly recommend the book Nourish the Flame Within, published by Author House. See you next time.